Hi guys, this video is going to be a guide for the Rush of Blood distraction and diversion. A lot of people have had trouble with it, but I've done it myself, and with a little strategy and some practice you can reliably complete any of the waves in less than 30 seconds, and I will show you how to do that. Now, I'm using hybrid armor. I have Void Mage just to improve my accuracy a little bit. I'm using a Noxious Staff. I have a Fire Cape for Ice Strike Worms, Scrimshaw and Aura just to boost DPS, a Ferocious Ring because I purchased the upgrade that makes it useful in this dungeon, otherwise just any damage boosting ring and amulet, and also I'm using Dragonbane Bolts because the only thing I'm going to be ranging is Celestial Dragons. In my inventory, I have a Steel Titan and scrolls along with a bunch of summoning potions so that I can chug these and infinitely spam these scrolls. I have Drygor switches for Tormented Demons and for Irit, and I have the Ascensions for the Celestial Dragons. I'm using Bloodfire Barrage because Ancient Magics deal double damage versus Muspah, and Fire Spells deal improved damage versus Ice Strike Worms and Glaciors, so that's going to speed up all three of those waves by a ton. I have Overloads and an Adrenaline Flask, which I will use strategically, and I'll talk to you in a minute about when I use that. I have a Super Anti-Fire for the Celestial Dragons, Prayer Renewal and Restores. I'm going to be using Soul Split and Torment. I have Dread Nips just to add an extra little bit of damage when I can think to use them, and a few Brews just in case anything seems to be getting the better of me. Now, most importantly I think for effectively doing this is I also have Holy Water. Now, Tormented Demons spawn with Protect from Melee by default, which means to remove the Fire Shield with Dark Light you need to hit them for 0 damage a few times using either magic or ranged to encourage them to switch their prayer, at which point you can use Dark Light. But using Holy Waters, which are a ranged weapon, you can simply throw one immediately at the beginning of the fight and resume using magic, and that saves a lot of time. That turns Tormented Demons from the longest wave into one of the shorter ones, and they're definitely worth taking the time to make, even though they're a little bit of a pain in the ass. You may want to hold on to the Golden Bowls and just make these for yourself anyway, since Morvran and Kuradel can be persuaded to assign Tormented Demons for Slayer. Overall, after a few tasks, making them will actually have been worth your while. Now, the 10 waves that can be assigned are mostly simple and self-explanatory, but there are a few that have some basic strategies that I would like to talk about. The first of those is the Ganodermic Beast and 2 Runts. Now, it's actually one of the slowest waves, and the reason it's one of the slowest waves is you only deal standard damage, and the combined HP of all 3 creatures is greater than 30,000. So, one effective way to deal with it is to combust one of them and then tag the others as you run away so that the 3 group in front of you. You'll probably see me doing this. After this segment of the video I will do a complete run through with myself. And try to use multi-hitting abilities like Dragon Breath and Chain to avoid killing one of them over the others and deal more overall damage rather than centering on a single one. Now, when he spawns 2 Irit, they're a little bit more resistant to magic than melee, so if you're near 100% adrenaline, it's useful to switch to Drygors and use Berserk, at which point you'll want to use the Adrenaline Potion, and if done properly, you can deal with both Irit in like 5 seconds. It's very, very fast and very effective. If not, you can continue to mage them as any standard thing, but you definitely want to focus especially on using Dread Nips and Steel Titans in that instance. And the final element of strategy is Ice Strike Worms. The animation for their spawn as they come out of the ground is very slow, but if you spam click on them, you'll find that you can actually engage combat pretty quickly into the animation rather than letting it complete itself, and save yourself 3 or 4 seconds overall on the wave. And that may not seem like a lot, but every second counts in this minigame. Other than that, Glaciors, you definitely want to kill the Enduring Glaciate first. After that, it shouldn't matter. Celestial Dragons definitely do not allow it to do the time stop special attack on you. Spam thresholds and use your Steel Titan as much as possible to make sure that you do not get frozen. And other than that, it's pretty self-explanatory. If there's multiple enemies, try to use abilities like Dragon Breath and Chain. If there are single enemies, try and use things like Asphyxiate and Wild Magic. Now, the next segment of the video will be a normal speed run through myself to give you a bit of a demonstration. If I remember correctly, there was at least one occurrence of every wave, and you should be able to get an idea of the strategy from that. Feel free to skip that if you choose to, but it is there if you need a little extra help.